ask you something here now. Why don't you give up singing? No, hold on. I didn't mean that to sound as rude as you did.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
here?
I know exactly what you mean.
What can fans expect?
I just want it to be fun, you know, that's what I'm about. I think music is fun. There's two different sorts of music, two different directions, but it's still very me.
After the lukewarm reception to Victoria Beckham's debut solo album, the pop star turned solo artist found herself at a crossroads. Determined to prove herself beyond her Spice Girls legacy, Victoria embarked on a journey of reinvention, diving into new musical directions and bold collaborations. But what followed was a tumultuous period marked by intense media scrutiny. From the polished dance pop of Let Your Head Go to the sultry R&B grooves crafted alongside hip-hop mogul Damon Dash, Victoria's reinvention was anything but timid. She aimed to break boundaries and tap into new markets, especially an American audience. Yet despite her efforts to push her sound and image into edgier territories, the reception was mixed, and the pressure of public expectations remained high. In this video, we'll take a look at Victoria's attempt to craft her sophomore project.
You know, I don't have to do this anymore, you know, I'm doing it because I enjoy it.
Love music. Dive deeper into the stories behind the hits and hidden gems, and explore the eras that have defined some of your favourite artists. Subscribe now and never miss a beat. Hit that bell icon so you're always the first to know when I drop new content. Now back to the video. After the R&B flavoured self-titled debut in 2001 and the birth of her second son Romeo, Victoria Beckham set her sights on crafting a follow-up album. Between 2002 and 2003, she returned to the studio with a renewed focus, determined to redefine herself as a solo artist. According to Digital Spy, Victoria recorded an 11-track dance pop album speculated to be titled Open Your Eyes. But rumours suggest she hated the songs and clashed with her then manager Simon Fuller, as well as her label Telstar Records. Frustrated, she shifted gears, teaming up with hip-hop producer Damon Dash to pursue a grittier, more urban sound. However, the narrative doesn't end there. A now defunct fan Tumblr dedicated to Victoria's solo career offers a different version of events. According to their detailed research, it may have been the opposite. Victoria initially worked with Damon Dash, experimenting with R&B and hip-hop, only to later turn to a more commercial dance pop direction after those sessions failed to gain traction. The conflicting accounts paint a fascinating picture of an artist caught between creative ambitions and industry pressures. Was it a case of a singer rejecting the material she was given, or a strategic recalibration by her team to find a sound that would resonate? If we assume that the Tumble fan theory is correct, it's likely that Victoria set her sights on a transformative project, which drew influences from hip-hop and was titled Come Together, named after a track on the album that sampled the Beatles' classic of the same name. This was to be the record that redefined her, pulling her away from her Spice Girls persona and positioning her as a credible urban pop artist. Working with Damon Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller Records and a titan of early 2000s hip-hop, Victoria dove headfirst into the project. Their collaboration wasn't just musical, she was also poised to become the British face of rockaware, signalling a full embrace of urban culture. The album was envisioned as a cross between the soulful, genre-defying sensibility of Tina Marie and the street-smart, glamorous appeal of a harder-edged Jennifer Lopez. It was bold, ambitious, and, on paper, culturally risky. While Victoria may have envisioned Come Together as a bridge to a new chapter, Telstar Records, the label behind the project, was less enthusiastic. When executives heard the recordings, their response was reportedly one of shock. The material wasn't inherently flawed. In fact, some songs were strong enough to resonate elsewhere. Take Resentment, a deeply emotional track later immortalised by Beyoncé. Yet, from an A&R perspective, the album's concept was a logistical nightmare. The tracks leaned heavily on hip-hop tropes, including a Jay-Z sample, and lyrics that spoke of keeping it real. At the heart of the backlash was an undeniable question of authenticity. Victoria was, by all accounts, a wealthy British socialite, a world away from the lived experiences and cultural roots that defined the hip-hop and urban culture she sought to emulate. Her polished, posh image as a Spice Girl was antithetical to the grit and rawness of the sound she was now pursuing. For a mainstream audience, this reinvention was an uphill battle. For a hip-hop purist, it was an impossible sell. Could the public reconcile Victoria Beckham, the pop star with a designer handbag in hand, singing about being down and real? Beyond the cultural optics, the album itself was daring and experimental. Tracks explored themes of heartbreak, empowerment and identity, but the delivery never quite aligned with Victoria's public persona. What's more, her foray into hip-hop raised questions of appropriation. A posh British white woman borrowing heavily from African-American culture. Damon Dash, known for his outspoken personality and confidence, was not shy about defending his collaboration with Victoria. When Telstar reportedly balked at the material, Dash voiced his frustration publicly, particularly over the backlash surrounding Victoria's foray into hip-hop. In an interview with The Guardian in 2004, Dash dismissed criticisms about Victoria's credibility in the genre. He was adamant that Victoria was capable of handling the shift in sound and that their work together was artistically valid. He defended her efforts to break out of her pop persona and adopt a more urban style, pointing to her dedication and willingness to experiment as evidence of her potential. He also criticised the music industry's rigidity and skepticism, implying that Telstar and critics were more focused on Victoria's public persona than on the quality of the music. Dash believed Victoria's reinvention was ahead of its time, and that the label's hesitation reflected a lack of understanding of the evolving music landscape. He suggested that the backlash stemmed more from societal biases and preconceived notions about who could authentically perform hip-hop than from the actual quality of the material. Dash also expressed frustration and suspicion that some of the negative narratives surrounding his collaboration with Victoria were intentionally planted by her record label. He believed the label may have been working behind the scenes to control the fallout of casting him and the project in an unfavourable light to protect their own interests. His accusations reflected his broader critique of the music industry, which he viewed as overly conservative and unwilling to take creative risks. He felt that Telstar's lack of support betrayed both Victoria's trust and his efforts to create something innovative. Despite the challenges, Dash maintained that Victoria's willingness to experiment was commendable, and that the stories planted against him were a smokescreen to cover Telstar's mismanagement of the project. The announcement that Victoria was working with Damon Dash was met with widespread disbelief. Many outlets questioned whether a posh spice could authentically embody the grit and credibility associated with hip-hop culture. Headlines often mocked the pairing, painting it as an odd or opportunistic move rather than a genuine artistic collaboration. Publications framed her as out of her depth, with one article referring to the project as Victoria's desperate attempt to stay relevant. Even before Victoria began working on her sophomore project, her singing ability had been a frequent target of media critique. During her Spice Girls tenure, she was often relegated to fewer solo lines compared to her bandmates, which fueled narratives that she lacked the vocal talent to sustain a solo career. As her contemporaries gained acclaim for their vocal and performance abilities, Victoria was often compared unfavourably, reinforcing the perception that she was out of her league. Media reviews of her leaked tracks often focused more on her voice than the music itself. Some outlets labelled her vocals as thin or unconvincing, and this narrative overshadowed any recognition of her creative risks. The media's relentless critique of Victoria during this time likely played a significant role in the shelving of her Come Together project and her eventual retreat from music. While the project never came to fruition, it stands as a reminder of how the media often judged Victoria harshly, not just for her music, but for daring to step outside the box. Given the media's constant critiques and the label's concern with her working with Dash, Victoria ultimately did concede to her label's wishes to focus on a more pop sound. The tracks from the Come Together project began leaking in the years following its cancellation, giving fans a rare glimpse into what could have been a bold reinvention of her music career. The leaked tracks gained a cult following among fans who saw them as a missed opportunity. For many, the project represented a fascinating what-if scenario in Victoria's career, leaving them wondering how it might have evolved with full label support and a proper release.
You're not the only one knocking down the door. And I know that we had this conversation before. So baby, if you want me, let me know. Just let me know. Or baby, get going. You're not the only one knocking down the door. And I know that we had this conversation before. Don't make me have to talk to you about this no more. Just let me know. Or baby, get going. Wanna make this really clear, I won't be saying this no more. Better tell me how you feel or you can walk right out the door. Yes, I'm tired of playing games with you, I've had it up to here. Baby, just be real with me or you can disappear. It's like everywhere I go, I just can't seem to keep him off of me. Boy, you're not the only one who says he wants to be with me. Let me simplify it for you. You know I'll be riding with you, but I need to know just how you feel. It's that simple. You're not the only one knocking down the door. It's that and I know that we had this conversation before. Loving you was easy once upon a time, but now my suspicions of you have multiplied. And it's all because you lied. I may never understand why I'm doing the best that I can, but I just can't seem to get over the way you hurt me. Don't know why you gave another who didn't mean a thing, no, everything you gave to me. I thought I could forgive you. I know you've changed as much as yes, let's do it again, but just me and you. 'Cause I like the love you, yeah. Give it up, baby. Don't call your friends, and I'll leave my girls. 'Cause I like the love you, yeah. Give it up, baby. Baby, it was cool and all that, hanging with our friends and holding back. Why we was feeling the pressure, had us wide open for sure. Funny what you knew, trying fun and played off like he wasn't scheming. I read right through your every move. I just want you to know. Yes, let's do it again. Just me and you. This time I love you. Freedom lives in music, yeah. People all around, listen to me now. Every man, woman, or child, let me show you what I felt. I felt that sometimes we all try so hard to find something right before our eyes. When they're open, we're surprised to find the music. And the truth is, everybody across the world, if it's freedom that you're searching and trying to find, take a minute from the second and stop and open your eyes to find that freedom. Opens the windows of the world. And the truth is, everybody across the world, if it's freedom that you're searching and trying to find, take a minute from the second and stop and open your eyes. Don't mess with that dude. Too young, some of them guys got a real big problem. Starting shit they can't finish if you allow them to get close enough to think you can live without them. Don't mess with that dude. Same rule applies to the next type. Insecure and he keeps trying to control your life. Tied up and you're scared somebody gon' come along and treat you right. No, don't mess with that dude. 'Cause he's already taken. I don't give a damn what kind of plans you're making. Even if the player says he's planning on shaking, bottom line is he's still taking. So, and if you're smart, you're leaving, but for the night, forever seems crazy. We can do whatever, let's just come together, baby. Excuse me, baby, listen, but I got a proposition involving me and you and the love that I've been missing. Don't be afraid or attempt to walk away or intimidated by the way I'm phrasing what I say. Hey, hey, baby, you're driving me crazy. Let's get together, stay together, maybe. Just for the night, forever seems crazy. We can do whatever, let's just come together, baby.
The Open Your Eyes project is the alleged unreleased sophomore pop album that has also become a significant part of her solo music legacy. Speculated to have also been recorded around 2002 to 2003, this project was reportedly the dance pop album her label wanted her to make, reflecting a more mainstream sound that leaned on Victoria's pop roots. The album's title, named after one of its tracks, suggested a thematic focus on self-reflection, reinvention or empowerment, with many of the tracks that leaked from this project echoing this sentiment. While detailed production credits remain unclear, the album was believed to have involved pop and dance producers with an ear for the early 2000s market trends. This was an attempt to create music that could perform well in the charts while staying true to Victoria's glamorous persona. Reports suggest that Victoria was dissatisfied with the material recorded for this project, feeling the songs didn't represent her artistic vision or the direction she wanted her career to take. This likely increased tension between Victoria and Telstar, further complicating the project. Telstar's focus on creating commercial hits seemed to conflict with Victoria's desire to explore a more personal and distinct sound. A 2004 interview on The Jonathan Ross Show became infamous due to Ross's blunt and highly disrespectful remarks about her music career. Ross's comments were seen as emblematic of the intense, often unfair criticism she faced from the media and public. These cutting comments were met with nervous laughter from the audience and an awkward response from Victoria, who maintained her composure despite the blatant insult.
Now, why don't you give up singing? No, hold on. I didn't mean that to sound as rude as you did. Do you know what I mean?
No,
here?
I know exactly what you mean.
They jump to their own conclusions there. You get so much flack for it, and it's like, you know, and the record's fine, it's nice. It's not my cup of tea, but it's nice, it's good. But I know if you gave up singing and gave it a year or two, whatever you came back with, people would treat it in a totally different way. And you must be aware of this.
Yeah, but I think that has happened. You know, I don't have to do this anymore. You know, I'm doing it because I enjoy it. Before, I have wanted it. Whereas this time around is different, and I think that the support that I have had from this record is completely different.
And who's that from? You think like the radio stations?
I think from radio, from press, from television. You know, at the end of the day, I'm doing it because I enjoy it. And yeah, I could sit at home and be a housewife and live off of David. But I don't see what's wrong with a woman who has ambition and wants to do something. There's been even a lot of women that have said, why don't you just sit at home and look after the children? Not that there's anything wrong in that, but nowadays, for a woman to still be young and want to do something, I think is commendable. So this is day 2 of the video shoot. Today we are starting Let Your Head Go, which is going to be good fun. Very funny. We've got lots of extra people here as well today, so it's good. Let Your Head Go, you know, it's great because you really get the opportunity to act like a complete cow and kind of stomp around and throw things around. I mean, it really is up my street when it comes to a sense of humour, you know, the way that the poor kid comes over on some crutches and I kick the crutches out the way, and then there's some fans come over and I'm like, you know.
That's good.
All right,
Got it?
Yeah,
that's good. Okay, check the date, please.
In December 2003, Victoria released a double A-side single, which marked her final official foray into the music industry. This release was a crucial moment, showcasing 2 drastically different sides of her artistry, while reflecting the tensions in her career between commercial pop and her ambition to explore more sophisticated sounds. The decision to release 2 songs stemmed from a creative impasse between Beckham and Fuller. Fuller envisioned Victoria continuing with an avant-pop, commercial sound, capitalising on her established posh spice image and appeal. Victoria, however, sought to mature her artistry with a more sophisticated urban R&B direction, utilising the tracks created with Damon Dash. Releasing both tracks simultaneously allowed them to test these contrasting styles with the public while showcasing the duality of her evolving musical identity. Ultimately, it highlighted the tension between her artistic ambitions and the commercial pressures shaping her career. Let Your Head Go is an upbeat dance pop track that leans into her playful, self-aware Posh Spice persona. The Eurodance style song features bouncy beats, layered electronic elements, and a catchy, infectious hook. The production leans toward the avant-garde, blending traditional pop structures with slightly off-kilter, edgy details, which gave it a playful and ironic undertone. The song's lyrics encourage letting loose and embracing fun, which subtly nods to Victoria's public perception as a poised and controlled figure. It plays on her image with a wink to the audience, reflecting her willingness to not take herself too seriously. The song balances its carefree, upbeat tone with a subtle edge of irony. It's simultaneously a fun dance pop track and a knowing nod to the pressures and absurdities of celebrity life. The production embraces a polished pop sheen while allowing for eccentricities that keep the track fresh and engaging. This juxtaposition of light-heartedness and sophistication highlights Victoria's ability to navigate self-awareness in her music, making Let Your Head Go a standout moment in her discography. The video humorously exaggerates Victoria's Posh Spice persona and the media's portrayal of her as image-obsessed and aloof. It depicts her engaging in absurd activities that emphasize narcissism, such as obsessively inspecting her reflection and posing robotically, highlighting the performative nature of fame. Scott Lyon, who directed the video, carefully blended exaggerated visuals and quirky, dreamlike sequences to create a heightened sense of absurdity. This surreal approach aligns with the song's playful, experimental tone, reinforcing its tongue-in-cheek message. Through exaggerated imagery, including the clever reference to Mommy Dearest, the video critiques the public and media's fixation on celebrities' appearances and perfection, poking fun at the very image she was often boxed into. In one notable scene which shows Victoria's head placed on a crow's body is one of the most striking and symbolic moments in the visual. This bizarre image is open to interpretation, but its inclusion aligns with the video's overarching themes of vanity and self-obsession. The crow, often associated with intelligence and adaptability, may symbolize her attempt to break free from the rigid persona. By placing her head on the crow, the video suggests a surreal transformation, blending her public image with a new, freer identity. The critical response to the track was mostly positive, with many publications highlighting Victoria's willingness to experiment and embrace self-parody. Reviewers appreciated the track as a reflection of her willingness to embrace humour and critique her own Posh Spice persona. Victoria was always shown as moody or emotionless by the media, and this was her way to prove that she did in fact have a personality. While its upbeat energy and polished electropop sound drew praise, the lyrics, described as simple and banal, were a point of critique. Over time, both the song and video have been re-evaluated as unique and underrated contributions to early 2000s pop culture.
The two videos are completely different, but they're attached. So I go from the set of one video to the next. Don't Disturb This Groove is a bit more serious. Mind you, there is a bit of irony in that one as well, but generally speaking it's a bit more serious. And Let Your Head Go is a bit more of a piss take, really.
This groove is the sultry R&B influenced counterpart to the double A-side single. Marking a stylistic departure from her earlier dance pop sound, the track showcases a more mature and sophisticated side of Beckham's artistry. The song, which was written by Alicia Brooks, David Conley and Everett Benton, as well as being produced by the latter alongside Damon Dash Samples, the 1987 hit from the System's Don't Disturb This Groove. The slow and sensual track with sleek production leans into a more understated, intimate vibe with lyrics that are sensual and flirtatious, exploring themes of passion and desire. The song, which teased the sound expected from the Come Together project, demonstrated that Victoria could step outside of her pop roots and dive into more diverse sounds and subject matter. The video featured a minimalist, moody aesthetic that complemented the song's sultry vibe. Victoria is depicted in intimate, glamorous settings, emphasising sophistication and maturity that aligned with her public persona, but somehow felt evolved and fresh. The track received positive reviews for its cool, sultry style and polished production. Critics described it as one of Victoria's standout solo efforts, noting how at ease she seemed in this musical direction. The track was praised as a slick, dreamy, slow jam with a slightly provocative edge, showcasing her ability to experiment with sophisticated sounds while maintaining a sleek and accessible pop sensibility. The single entered the UK singles chart at number 3, following significant publicity leading up to its release. It became Victoria's highest charting solo single and the highest charting single from a Spice Girl since 2001. The single remained on the UK chart for 8 weeks. Internationally, it achieved mixed success, peaking at number 3 in Scotland, number 17 in Ireland, and number 91 in Romania. Shortly after the single's release, Telstar Records would file for bankruptcy. The exact timing had been due to a period of financial instability for the label, compounded by the rising costs of artist management and shifting industry dynamics, such as declining physical sales and the growing dominance of digital piracy. The label's closure marked the end of several high-profile projects, including Beckham's planned second album, and left many of its artists in limbo. Victoria was often linked to Telstar Records' bankruptcy and media narratives, but the reality is more nuanced. By the time Telstar signed Victoria, the label was likely already in financial decline due to mismanagement and industry challenges. The collapse of physical music sales and the rise of digital piracy during this period created a challenging commercial environment for independent labels. Beckham's signing came with significant investment costs, including the production of 2 unreleased projects, high-profile collaborations, and extensive promotional efforts. These expenses undoubtedly contributed to Telstar's financial strain, but they were not the sole cause. The media sensationalized Beckham's role, portraying her as a financial liability due to the commercial underperformance of her music projects. This narrative was likely fueled by her high-profile status, making her an easy scapegoat for broader structural issues within the label. After the commercial underperformance of her debut studio album and 2 shelved projects, Victoria decided to step away from music to focus on her growing fashion career and family. Following the mixed reception of her solo efforts and the collapse of Telstar, she realised her passion lay elsewhere. The intense media scrutiny and frequent criticism of her singing abilities also contributed to her decision. Throughout her solo career, Victoria faced relentless media scrutiny, with constant criticism of her talent and dismissive coverage overshadowing her efforts. This negativity likely took an emotional toll, making it difficult for her to find fulfillment in music. With most, if not all of the songs from both unreleased projects having leaked online, many fans have come to appreciate them for their boldness and artistic risk-taking. The album showcased Victoria's desire to be more diverse as an artist and move away from her pop roots.
Going on, how something right could be so wrong. You're moving closer all the time. How can I make you change your mind? Open your eyes, see the sun touch the blue sky. Open your eyes. You're feeling alive like the stars shining so bright. Open your eyes. 'Cause seeing is believing, baby. Stop your dreaming. Open your eyes. Open your eyes to the world for the first time. Open your eyes. 'Cause seeing is believing, baby. Stop your dreaming. Open your eyes.
Time
wanna get a reaction. I wanna play with your mind. I'm gonna make a connection. I'm gonna make you mine. I need a little attention. I need a little desire. A little love and affection. Watch me blow your mind. Woo! So come and get it as quick as you can. I wanna see you better so we can get down. I wanna a little dirty with a family man. Take a chance tonight. So come on, flow. Let your body let go. Let your body move up and down. Let it get down to the sound and flow. With your body and soul, you can take me round and round. So lose your mind and generate the flow.
Yeah. Cruise control, baby. Know what I'm saying?
Always sitting pretty with my legs closed.
Right.
Know just how to get up out of limos. If I gotta walk, then I've gotta mean walk.
Right,
If
right.
you wanna talk politics, let's talk. Go by the book and I stick to the plan. Never see me looking at another man. It's no fun when it's all correct. Don't know why I've got my mind in check. Forget what you heard about the good girl. That's not what I'm about. I'm about. I wanna drive too fast. I wanna play full blast. I wanna dance till I drop. I wanna rock full stop. I wanna roll too. Do I need to say it, boy? You should know my love is for real. Don't make me explain it, boy. You should know the way that I feel. Got me one heart feeling, baby. Where my heart starts breathing, baby. Do I need to say it, boy? You should know my love is for real. My love is for real. That's how I play it, boy. Let the tingling grow inside me. Love like precious gold inside me. Do I need to say it, boy? You should know my love is.
As time has passed, there has been a wave of nostalgia for the early 2000s pop era, and with it, a reassessment of Victoria's solo career. Fans who initially followed her work with the Spice Girls have revisited her solo music with a more open mind, often celebrating her ambition to carve out a space in an entirely different genre.
I've always had to work really, really hard. Nothing ever came easy to me. You know, when I was at school, I was never the most academic. I was never the pretty girl in the class. I was never the popular girl in the class. I mean, quite the opposite. I was very badly bullied at school, and I always really, really struggled. And it was always just about keeping my head down, working hard. I was very close to my family, you know, very much come from a working class family. And I wanted to go on the stage and I wanted to sing and dance. But again, I wasn't the best. It was always just about working really, really hard. And I've had a lot of knockbacks, and every time I was knocked down, I got back up again. And that was, you know, that's just the way that I've always been, you know, very ambitious, very determined, never afraid to put in the hard work, and very focused. And I believe in creative visualization. I believe in putting it out into the universe. And if you work hard enough and believe in yourself enough, then what you can achieve, the sky's the limit.